Hey everyone, Chad Hasty here, host of the Chad Hasty Show, which airs weekday mornings, 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time on NewsTalk 95.1 FM and on 790 AM KFYO. Follow me on Twitter, Chad Hasty Radio, and follow me also on KFYO.com and subscribe to our videos down below. Okay, a lot to talk about on the show coming up. On Wednesday, we will have Councilwoman Karen Gibson in studio. We'll talk about local control versus what's happening in Austin. But we're also going to talk about, aside from our guest, the role ESPN plays in politics and, of course, sports. ESPN releasing some new guidelines that have to deal with the intersection of sports and politics. Reading straight from the ESPN public editor on ESPN.com, ESPN has issued new political and election guidelines for its employees that, while allowing for political discussion on the network's platforms, recommend connecting those comments to sports whenever possible. The new policies also provide separate guidelines for ESPN staffers who are working on news and engaging in commentary. The timing of the release of the election guidelines a bit unusual, according to ESPN. Such guidelines rarely released right after a presidential election. They're usually updated near the beginning of a presidential election. But we're living in unique political times, which ESPN apparently recognized, which explains the revised guidelines for political discussion and social issues. The ESPN Vice President of Global Digital Content said, given the intense interest in the most recent presidential election and the fact subsequent political and social discussions are often intersected with sports in the world, we found it to be an appropriate time to review our guidelines. ESPN goes on to say that, listen, if you're working on hard news, try not to interject your own political views, your own social commentary. However, ESPN will continue to allow and empower their commentators to spew political opinion whenever they want. Listen, I've got no problem with people talking about politics. Obviously, I do it for a living. However, when I watch ESPN or I watch a sporting event, I don't want to hear about politics. I don't want to hear about, now he doesn't work for ESPN, he works for NBC, but I don't want to hear Bob Costas bitch and moan about guns. I don't want to hear that. Instead, I want to hear about what's going on the field. ESPN applauded Colin Kaepernick. ESPN thought that what Colin Kaepernick did was brave, and really they had no dissenting opinion. Can you remember anyone on ESPN having a dissenting opinion about Colin Kaepernick and what he was doing last season in the NFL by taking a knee during the national anthem? Of course not. ESPN has also silenced before conservative commentators. ESPN has a bad track record, and in my opinion, they need to get rid of the political agenda and the social justice agenda altogether. Sports fans, by and large, are Republicans. They're conservatives. They're not, flaming liberals, unlike Colin Kaepernick. Sports fans, if you view any kind of statistics, sports fans lean to the right. ESPN leans to the left. I think ESPN has recognized that, oh, wow, we're losing a bunch of subscribers. As I've had Clay Travis on from Outkick the coverage on my program before. Clay Travis has brought up that ESPN has skewed far to the left. And that, if you're a Republican, if you're a conservative, you're probably put off by ESPN. Here's my prediction. ESPN will continue to bleed subscribers and bleed viewers because they will continue to spout off leftist opinions. I applaud them for trying to say, listen, if we're sticking to hard news, then don't interject your political opinion. Hey, I applaud that. Other news organizations should listen to that as well. The problem is ESPN has a lot of commentators who are going to interject their own political opinions. And let me tell you something. We watch, fans, sports fans watch sports channels and sports news to hear about the on-the-field reports, off-the-field reports about our favorite teams, our favorite players. We don't watch ESPN for social justice. We don't watch ESPN to hear about guns and about how bad guns are. We don't listen to ESPN to hear about how great Colin Kaepernick is and how brave he is for taking a knee during the national anthem. ESPN again continues to show that they just don't get the average sports fan. Tune in to the Chad Hasty Show weekday mornings, 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time on NewsTalk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO. Follow me on Twitter, Chad Hasty Radio. Have a great day.